بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Tonight, inshallah, the first night of Al-Fiqh, the new intensive program that we put together, where every Wednesday we will have Fiqh, inshallah, which is the Islamic jurisprudence or rulings, and we will give this small book called Al-Risalatul Jami'ah, or as translated as the Essentials of Islam, the portion of Fiqh in it, starting with very precise small books, and then inshallah once we finish these we're going to go to the there is actually a systematic and methodological way of studying knowledge. You start with small little things and then you grow. وَابْدَأْ بِصِغَارِ الْعِلْمِ قَبْلَ كِبَارِهِ. Start small and then keep adding up. If you want to start Fiqh Shafi'e, for example, it's known. You take this book first and then you go to the bigger one. Same thing for Hanafi, same thing for Aqidah, same thing for any science. You don't jump to the references and huge books. You start small and then you grow big. So there's not going to be much details here, but details will come later, inshallah. But first of all, what is fiqh? What is fiqh? What is it? What does it deal with? What does it study? What does it study? Can somebody tell me? Jurisprudence, what? What does jurisprudence study?
Islamic law.
What is Islamic law? What is Islamic Sharia? It deals with what? Ibadat is one part of it. So here is the definition of it to be conclusive and comprehensive. Fiqh is ma'rifatu, the knowledge of. Knowledge of what? Ahkamu al-shar'i, the rulings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In what? In terms of af'alul mukallafin, in terms of the actions of those who have been addressed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mukallafin. Mukallaf is basically somebody who is adult in a full mental capacity. That person is mukallaf. Mukallaf. In front of Allah, Allah doesn't address children. He addresses the parents, deal with them. But Allah addresses those who are baligh, aqil, rashid. Somebody who is adult and somebody who is in full mental capacity. It deals with the actions. It doesn't deal with their faith. That's aqidah. The action. What do you do? It could be either one of 5 things. Obligatory, something obligatory to do. That's one side. The other side is prohibited. The middle part is neutral. It's not that or that mubah, called mubah. And there's 2 levels in between. The level between mubah or permissible or neutral and wajib is called what? Mustahab. Right? These are easy things. We all know this. Recommended. It's a little bit here, but not obligatory. And the one between permissible or mubah and forbidden is what? Makruh, dislike. You may like it, you may not like it, but it's better not to like it. This one you may do it, you may do it or not do it, but better not to do it. This one you may do it, you may not do it, but better do it. This one, it's either way, mubah. Can I drink water? Yeah. It's not recommended or not recommended from Shara perspective. Healthy-wise, that's a different story. Right? So that's what fiqh studies. Studies the actions or knowing the rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as far as the actions of mukallafin. Action of those who are addressed by Islam. So it will deal with salah, that's an action to be done to Allah. Zakah, hajj, sawm, and then how do they deal with each other? Transactions, how do they sell to each other? Selling, buying, bay', al-rahm, mortgage, al-qirad, al-sharaka, all of these things, all kind of transactions. These are the topics of fiqh. طيب. Usually scholars, when they study fiqh, they start from ibadat. One section is ibadat, or all acts of worship, starting with salah. And then what's necessary for salah, you have to prepare for salah. So tahara, or purification. What is the first thing in purification? You will start wudu. That's how they start. Finish it, go to salah. Finish salah, then comes zakah and sawm and hajj, the 5 pillars of Islam. These actions, and then they get to mu'amalat, or transactions. البيع والرهن والربا والسلم والقراض وما إلى ذلك. So we will talk tonight very quickly about wudu or ablution. Ablution is one section from under a big chapter is called tahara. Tahara is purification. And by wudu or by purification in general, we don't mean cleanliness. It doesn't necessarily mean cleanliness is part of it, but it's a ritual thing to be done so you'll be able to do other things. So wudu is a ritual ibadah to do so you can read Quran. What are some of the ibadah that it's compulsory to have wudu for? Give me a couple of examples. It's fard to have wudu for salah. You cannot pray without salah. So you have to have wudu, fard, to have salah. What else? Hajj in general or tawaf? Tawaf around the house, around Kaaba. When you go make umrah, you have to have tawaf. That's compulsory. Can you think of anything else? No, that's not compulsory. So mustahab is to qira'at al-Quran, to read Quran. It's recommended. Mustahab to even making dua, recommended. You don't have to do it, but it's better to make even dhikrullah, remembering Allah and mentioning Allah. It's mustahab, recommended to mention it in tahara, but it doesn't have to be so. These are just it. So wudu has, and all actions will have some essentials, some pillars, some main actions. If you have these, you have wudu. If any of these are missing, then wudu is missing. And then you have extra things. And always fuqaha are talking very precisely. Do not mix up things. When we talk fiqh, we don't mix orange and apples or apples and orange. Everything makes and is said for a reason. Unlike what many of us might think, oh, scholars is somebody who made his tea and he sat down and he thought, I think you have to do it this way. It doesn't work this way. So wudu, like everything else, has essentials. They might be called furud, pillars, or arkan, pillars. Furud, essentials. ما هي يا ترى أركان الوضوء? What could be the most essential part in wudu and why? Scholars would disagree. Actually in fiqh, مجال الأحكام العملية, the rulings, they would disagree a lot about it. Yes, they would agree about there's a core issues, but some issues they would disagree on. What could be the pillars, the most essential things in wudu? Can you give me a few examples? Well, we have one ayah that gives us the essentials of wudu. Ayah number 6 in Surah Al-Ma'idah. You have to know these. Ayah number 6 in Surah Al-Ma'idah. Check it out when you go home. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. Allah said, O you who believe, إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ. When you stand up, when you are about to make salah, فَاغْسِلُوا, wash وُجُوهَكُمْ, your face, وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ, and your arms up to the elbows, وَامْسَحُوا, wipe out, بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ, with your heads, وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ, and wash your feet up to the ankles, إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ. What about the other things that we do in wudu? This ayah is talking about essentials. So what could be the essentials based on this ayah? Washing the face, one. The elbow or hands up to the elbow. Hands up to the elbow. Arms up to the elbow, I mean. Yes. 3. Wiping over the head. Washing the feet up to the ankles. That's 4.
That's it.
For Imam Abu Hanifa, that's it. Those are the only 4 essential things that you have to do. You don't have, if you didn't do anything else, that's okay for him. Na'am. For Imam Shafi'i, we're going to be discussing fiqh based on Imam Shafi'i. He added 2 more things. Niyyah in the beginning, you have to have niyyah. Why? Because Allah said, إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ. If you stand up, you're intending to make salah basically, so you have to have niyyah. For Imam Abu Hanifa, no, you don't have to have niyyah. If you just jump into the pool and come out, you have wudu. Right? That's for Imam Abu Hanifa. So niyyah, actually, not only for that, for any action, is usually needed. Is usually إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ. All action will be judged according to the intention. So that's 5 so far according to Imam Shafi'i. What is number 6 according to Imam Shafi'i? Anyone? No. No. At-tartib. Doing that in order. Why Imam Shafi'i say you have to do that in order? Face first, then as Allah said, follow this order. He said, did he bring it from his mind, from his own?
It was the Quran.
How? The order of the Quran, right? But he said, not everything is in the Quran is mentioned in order, it should be done in order. But he has a very fine point. He said, listen, Allah said, O you who believe, when you stand to make wudu, do what? Wash what? Your face. And wash your hand up to the elbow, arms up to the elbows. And then what? Wipe, that's not washing, wipe over the, and then wash your feet. لأن هي وامسحوا برؤوسكم وأرجلا مفعول به، يعني إيه معطوف على المغسولات، اغسلوا وجوهكم كذا كذا وأرجلا. So why would Allah mention, usually in Arabic language and in any other language, you will mention the things that have to do with each other in one list. And you finish this list before you move to a different list. But the fact that Allah said, wash, wash, wipe, wash, why didn't He say wash together? It's meant. He said, do you see his point? He said it's meant from Allah. That's one. Number two, Prophet ﷺ always, when he made wudu, how did he make it? He made it in this order. For him, he said it has to be done this way. If somebody starts with the foot first, it doesn't count. Because Allah said, not only because Allah said in this order, but because لأنه ذكر ممسوحا بين المغسولات فدل على أنه مغسول. He mentioned something to be wiped out in the middle of a list of so many things to be washed. That's why for him it is obligatory. That's not meant to be fiqh muqaran. Fiqh muqaran is studying, look at the different all madhab. We will be focusing only Imam Shafi'i, and that is the way to learn anything. You have to focus in one madhab to know the rules and everything. But it's not a problem to mention things here and there. Imam Malik and Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal added a couple of other things. They added al-muwalah. What is al-muwalah? It has to be done one after the other, meaning you don't wash your face in the morning and then go take breakfast or go take an errand or something and then come back, wash your hands. No, that's not. Yeah, you washed it and you're still good, you didn't lose wudu or anything. But no, if you do it over the course of a day or even an hour, it doesn't work. You have to go. You know, they say before one part is dry. This is the limit. Before your face is dry, you have to start doing the next one. You don't just go and al-muwalah. Imam Malik is the only one who added one thing extra. He said rubbing the organs, not just letting water go. All other scholars said even if you put your hand under the faucet like that, it's okay. And it is actually. But Imam Malik, you know, especially in the winter like that, if you put your hand or something, you might see some areas where the water didn't really like these knuckles in here. So for him, you have to make rubbing. And it's important, it's sunnah for others, or yani something extra that better to do. Anyways, the 6 pillars of wudu according to Imam Shafi'i is, number 1, intention. You have to have intention. When to have intention? With the first part, which is facing, washing the face. Number 2, washing the face. Talking about washing the face very quickly. What do you mean by face? We all know face, right? But no, it will have certain definition. Min manabit al-sha'ri, from where the normal hair usually grow. What about if somebody's bald? No. From where the hair usually grow. Usually. It's around here, right? What if somebody has hair all connected? You will start from here? No, it's from usually manabit al-sha'r al-mu'tad. So from here, that's up. حد طولا من منابت الشعر إلى أسفل اللحية, to all the way to the end of the lower jaw, under the bottom of the lower jaw. So this is the lower jaw. Get a line, including this part under the cheek. Only Imam Shafi'i said, including this part under the cheek. So from here to here, vertically. What about horizontally? Ear to ear. From ear all the way to ear. Including everything, all the hair that grows on the face. Eyebrows, eyelashes, mustaches, beard. They have a little bit of a specific thing about the beard. If the beard is so thick, you don't have to wash everything inside. You can make takhleeb. Get your hand, make it wet, and put it under. But whatever is outside, it has to be washed. And then there's so many other details, but it's not time to talk about details. So washing, this is how you wash the face. Number 3, we said intention, washing the face, then washing the arms up to the elbows. If we would talk about sunan, we wash our hand in the beginning, even though it's not like essential, But even if you wash it in the beginning, now after the face, you have to wash the hand with the arm. Again, that's the pillar right now. Washing the hand from the tip of the fingers all the way to the elbows. Elbows are included. Elbows included. Hatta Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, sometimes it's not obligatory, but he would go even higher. He would go to al-adud here. And he said even in the hadith, the higher you go in terms of washing the hand, the arms and the feet, the more light in the day of judgment. من استطاع أن يطيل غرته وتحجيله فليفعل. So washing the arms from the tip of the fingers all the way to the elbows. Elbows are included all around. One time, all of that is one time. The extra is extra. 2 times is extra. 3 times is recommended, but it's not obligatory. The obligatory is only the first one. Now, what's after washing the arms up to the elbows? Quickly. Wiping over the head. For Imam Shafi'i, even if you wipe 3 hairs, enough. If you wiping over the head, a little bit of the head, little bit of the head. If you want to make it complete, go all the way down and back. But even if you wipe, somebody has if you have a taiya or this kind of kufi or something, or turban back in the days, or sisters with the hijab, they have to remove a little bit. It doesn't have to be removed, but you can put your hand under the hijab. Make the water touch the hair. For the brothers, they can do the same thing. Push the kufi a little bit. Let it touch a little bit of the hair. If you want to continue over the imama, over the kufi, that's fine. If you don't want, that's fine too. But at least you have to have some of the hair. For Imam Shafi'i, امسحوا بالباء للتبعيد. This ba is for some. Wash or wipe, not wash. Wipe some of the hair. برؤوسكم وأرجلكم, and wash your feet up to the ankles. Behind the ankles is very important to pay attention to. Between the toes is very important to pay attention to. These are, and making that in order, these are the 6 pillars of wudu. We will obviously talk about madmada, rinsing the mouth, and taking taking water into the nose and sniffing it. All of that, and amongst other things, will be extra things. When we say sunan or extra, it doesn't mean that, no, you don't do it. You do, like Rasulullah did it all the time. But now we are classifying, we are dissecting which is which. What is the most essential and what is not as essential. That is what we mean by furudu. So now very quickly, furudul wudu, or the farz, or the pillars, or the arkan of wudu are how many according to Imam Shafi'i? 6 of them. Number 1, intention, niyyah. 2, washing the face. 2, 3, washing arms from the tip of the fingers up to the elbows, elbows included. 4, wiping over the head. 5, washing the feet up to the ankles, ankles included as well, and you can go up if you can, but up to the ankles is what's obligatory. Number 6, tartib or order, doing that in order. Any question in these so far?
Yes. Wouldn't it be easy just to take a shower?
ده الأعلى خلاص take a shower. All right. Okay. جزاكم الله خيرا. بارك الله فيكم. And again, another question.
Yeah. During the prayer tonight, brother came and prayed in second line by himself.
But that's not related here, right?
Oh,
so let's cut this off if you don't mind. And,
yeah. Okay.
Can you press it?